Brought to you by Penguin.
(26A) by Diana Evans. Read by Adjoa Andoh.
The first bit. Chapter 1. Ham. Before they were born, Georgia and Bessie experienced a moment of indecision. They had been travelling through the undergrowth on a crescent moon night with no fixed destination and no notion of where they were, whether it was a field in Buckinghamshire, the Yorkshire Dales, or somewhere along the M1 from Staples Corner to Watford. Nightbirds were singing. The earth smelt of old rain. Through scratchy bramble they scurried, through holes that became warm tunnels and softly lit underground caves. Their paws pressed sweet berries in the long grass, and they sniffed each other's scent to stay together. Soon they began to sense that they were coming to a road, one of those huge open spaces of catastrophe where so many had perished. Squirrels smashed into the tarmac, rabbits, badgers, walking birds, murdered and left for the flies. Bessie thought they should risk it and cross. There was nothing coming for miles. But Georgia wasn't sure, because you could never be sure, and look at what the consequences might be. A little way up the road a bird lay glistening in its blood, feathers from its wings pointing stiffly up to the sky. They crept to the roadside to get a closer look. Nothing coming at all. No engine thunder, no lights. It took a long time for Georgia to come round. "Okay then, let's be quick, quicker than quick. Run, leap, fly, be boundless, all speed." They stepped onto the road and shot forward, almost touching. And then the engine came. And for reasons beyond their reach, they stopped. That was the memory that stayed with them. Two furry creatures with petrified eyes staring into the oncoming headlights, into the doubled icy sun, into possibility. It helped explain things. It reminded them of who they were. A slowness followed the killing. While their blood seeped into the road, they experienced warmth, softness, wet. But mostly it was brutal. There were screams and a feeling of being strangled. Then a violent push, and they landed freezing cold in surgical electric white, hysterical blubbering, trying to shake the shock from their hearts. It was a lot to handle. Georgia, who was born first, 45 minutes first, refused to breathe for 7 minutes. And 2.5 years later, still resentful, she was rushed back to St. Luke's Hospital with dishcloth carpet dust, half her afro, and tassels off the bottom of the sofa, clinging to her intestines. She'd eaten them, between and sometimes instead of her rice pudding and ravioli. The ordeal of it. Ida running around the house shouting, "Georgia's dying, my Georgia's dying!" And the ambulance whisking her off. And Bessie, feeling that strange sinking back towards the road, which, when they were old enough to explore the wilderness of Neasden, they decided could well have been the North Circular that raged across the bottom of their street. There is a photograph of them, seated at a table in front of their 3rd birthday cake, about to blow, 3 candle flames preparing to disappear. Georgia's arms are raised in protest of something forgotten, and across her stomach, hidden, is the scar left over from where they'd slit her open and lifted out the hair and the living room carpet like bleeding worms, and then sewed her back together. The scar grew up with her. It widened like a pale smile and split her in 2. As for Bessie, she spent her first human month in an incubator, with wires in her chest, limbs straggling and pleading like a beetle on its back. The incubator had a lot to answer for. So Georgia and Bessie understood exactly that look in the eye of the hamster downstairs in the sun lounge. He was ginger-furred with streaks of white.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?